Thank you for coming along on our test drive of the Integra CVT. After driving over 12,000 miles on my 2023 6-speed Integra, I had some pretty strong predictions that the CVT was just not going to live up to what the Integra spirit is. So about a month ago, I set out to satisfy my curiosity. Just what was Acura thinking putting a CVT into the Integra? Really did not make sense to me, but I've doubted Acura for a year. As a fan of the Integra, that's not good. I really thought the driving performance was going to be sluggish and underwhelming, and I must say how surprised I was. So today in this test, we're going to go over just what the CVT is capable of. I've got 8 different scenarios that we tested and put the CVT Teggy through the paces. And I think you might be a little surprised yourself to see really what the CVT is all about. All right, so here we are. This is the first time that I've been seated inside of Teggy CVT, and for obvious reasons you wouldn't see me in an Integra CVT edition, but I've been really curious about it. I know that it's still a pretty good car. It doesn't have the 6-speed. That's the major drawback to this, but it has the same engine as the 6-speed, and so I'm very curious if Acura has captured the magic of the Integra in the CVT version. My personal opinion is a CVT does not belong on an Integra, but I do understand the many billions of dollars it takes to create a car, why a CVT would be in here. I know that a lot are disappointed, but I do see the rationale behind it. But I am going to see, I know how the 6-speed handles, and so this is even the base model. So you can see the seats are just your standard seats. But we're gonna just see how it handles. There's a lot of features missing from this model, from the base model, but the core of it is the steering wheel is pretty much the same, you know. It feels very similar to the other one. I think the 6-speed has a more premium look to it, but it still feels good. But the ELS system is absent from this system, and the infotainment system, it's also absent. But a lot of the other things are going to be here. And the main reason why I wanted to try this out was not because of the stereo or some of the interior amenities, but it was because of the transmission. So I have been so curious how this handles, because Acura can't just put the Integra name on a vehicle and have a CVT in it, unless it's good. So I'm going to test it out and see if that's really true. So let's give it a shot. Okay, so one of the other things is you don't have the premium pedals. I didn't wear my premium shoes today. So, you know, my fancy shoes are for the 6-speed. For the CVT, you got my regular relaxation shoes, but they'll do. Got your brake pedal here. Got your gas pedal here. That's it. Right, same dead pedal, actually. But that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and let's just get this started and see how it goes. Okay. You've got the same clickiness to the knobs, so that's good. You know, that's awesome. Now, like I said, you don't have a lot of these same amenities, which is okay. This is a base model. And the infotainment system is, I would say this is a very modern 90s Integra. You know, it looks very old school. I don't know. It's very functional. I would say it's functional, but nothing fancy here. But again, that's not why I'm here. I really just want to see what the engine's like. So let's go ahead and let's buckle up. Let us see how this goes. So we've got a little knob here. Got some knob action there. There's reverse. Got the reverse camera. Neutral drive. So let's go. You just let go of that gas and my goodness, as you would expect, it starts to go. Okay, so here we are. Okay. Now I can tell you right off the bat, this CVT is actually not as horrible as I thought it would be. It's very responsive. As soon as you hit that gas, it immediately responds. Ooh, look at that sweet Accord. Not bad, not bad. So the CVT, it's just a transmission that it belongs in an economy vehicle. And an Integra, I don't know that it's an economy vehicle, but it's not one that I would expect. So right now we're just kind of going through just a little neighborhood here. Let's get out of this neighborhood. But right off the bat, better than I expected. So I still, just for the fact that it's a CVT, I would say don't do it, but it's not bad. 6-speed manual transmission is much more fun. Just about out of this neighborhood, and we can try on some real roads. Let's just see where we are here. Okay, I don't know. I will definitely say that the 6-speed manual transmission is definitely a better ride. Quite a bit of a better ride. But that's okay. I was really not expecting this to be an amazing ride, but it does do well. All right, let's go. Let's try this. I will tell you one thing, this Tesla in front of me is holding me back. It's holding me back. Here we go. I'm gonna pull over here really quick. Just really quick. I'm gonna wait for some cars here. Okay, so let's try this. Yeah, this actually is a pretty quick car, I'm gonna say. It's still a quick car. Now the transmission drives me just a little batty. You know, it's not my favorite, but it's doing pretty good. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. Quick around the corners. It's actually a pretty good accelerator. It accelerates pretty well. Okay, let's see. Let's do a quick lane change here. Yes. I mean, it feels good. It feels good. It's not too bad. But you still have that same CVT sound. At the same time, you have the turbo included in this Integra. Yeah, it's got some pickup. I think when you hear the word CVT, it just brings horrible imagery, you know, Nissan Pathfinders blowing up, the single band transmission, just not great. But honestly, accelerating down some of these roads is actually pretty good. Yeah, like as far as handling on these busy roads here, totally acceptable. The sound is not my favorite, but it's still good. You know, you're always going to be stuck behind the slower vehicles. That doesn't change. Does not change. But it's responsive when it needs to be. You know, it does well. You still have that awesome turbo sound. Yeah, you don't have that limited slip differential in this model, but that's reserved for the very top tier 6-speed, which is really the performance version of this that you really want to get. Even if you don't know how to drive a stick manual transmission, this is going to be so worth it. So come on now. So yeah, I'm actually kind of impressed with this, but we will go. Yeah, Teggy turning on a dime here. It's actually not a slow car at all. For whatever reason, I just have this preconceived notion that, or impression, that CVTs are just slow. But I mean, they can't be too slow, right? Otherwise they're gonna be undrivable. But as far as this goes, it's plenty fast. So here we go. I mean, it'll definitely take you up to the speed limits quickly. This is not a slow car by any means. And the base model actually looks pretty dang good, I think. I think it looks great. So if you know the California area, just driving by here, Scott Robinson, some of you might come and get your car serviced there. There's a nice Honda Accord and a nice Honda Accord in front of me. It's a good year. All right, they're switching lanes. Let's see, as soon as they're out of my lane, let's see, pressing this gas. There we go. Just lightly pressing it. I'm not flooring it at all, and check that out. It brings you up to speeds that you need to be at. Does it well. So you've all heard that Honda does the CVT, right? This is like the best CVT that you can get. If you're gonna get a car with a CVT, you're gonna get a Honda. And in this case, an Acura. I don't know that Acura has ever had a CVT transmission. I think this is the very first that has that transmission, but honestly, it handles well. And if you are not a car enthusiast, but you want a nice car, you want a quick car, this is a really good option for you. Now, I'm not going to recommend to anyone who watches my channel, because my channel is dedicated to the 6-speed manual transmission, but I just had to see what the comparison was, and I'm decently happy with this. Decently happy. I'm not disappointed here. And I thought I would be, honestly. And trusty CVT just sitting here all nice and solid like. No gears to row through, just all stationary. And from the outside, this is a good looking vehicle, so you would never know that it's a CVT. You know, taking this around town to the mall. Four-way stops, no problem. Picks up, stops, and goes. So if you really, really want an Integra and you're completely opposed to the 6-speed manual transmission, which I really don't know how you would be, The sound though. I would never be able to get over this sound. And if you have your music cranked up really loud, maybe it won't make a difference, right? But maneuvering in stop and go areas, stop, go, it's very fast. You know, it's quick, it's responsive. Gets you where you need to be. You know, when you're waiting in a light, you do have the brake. You just put your foot on the brake. But it does have brake hold, so that is a nice feature here. So yeah, you just press the brake hold. Does that, and then you let go. And then when you need to go, you just press the gas and then you go. Now, since it's an automatic, you literally just press that gas and then you go. So lights are really not nearly as fun, not at all. But, you know, what are you gonna do? It's not a 6-speed. See? You just press the gas and then you're off. Have all the same safety features in the base model. So you don't need to pay top tier to get all the safety features. Still have the blind spot monitoring. You still have the collision detection. You know, you have all of those amenities. So with the CVT, you're not losing any safety features. So that's cool. With this particular model, you can't get the wireless charger. I think you can get the CVT A-spec with tech, and you get the wireless charger. But if you're gonna go that amount of money, I would just always go for the 6-speed. But it is more money, so there's things that you just gotta realize. But it does have the speed limit alerts, so it keeps you in line with the speed limits, so that's cool. You're not losing any of that functionality, and it's a smooth ride. You know, this Integra is it's a smooth ride. Driving this down the highway is super easy. It's an easy car to drive. Alright, so there's Del Amo. So we're right here at the stoplight. Got the brake hold. And what that allows me to do is as soon as I'm ready to go, I just press that gas. So let's go ahead and let's see what we got here. Let's see what Teggy CVT has. And if you look at all the cars behind me, like they're behind me, so I mean, this is gonna be faster than your average car. You know, it's not a slow car. The CVT actually is pretty quick. So I'm very impressed with the acceleration, and you know, it's not bad. And really, with how it accelerates, what's really getting me is the sound. But the acceleration itself is actually not too bad. So let's just think about that. So if the acceleration is good, or great even, then it's really mostly about the sound, right? And the sound isn't amazing. I've just got to say that I cannot get over the sound. The sound is not something that I really enjoy. I like to hear a regular transmission taking that engine where it needs to go. And a CVT, in my opinion, just not taking it where it needs to go, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? Shall we go on the 405 north and see where that takes us? Okay, so if we got traffic coming, are we gonna be able to get up to speed? Why, yes, we are. Like I said, when you get to about the 35, 40 mile per hour range, this thing is scooting quite well. It's not bad. Here we go. And this is your typical Southern California driving. 1 car per green. $40, $50. Like, getting onto the freeway, not a problem at all. Not a problem. I've actually heard of a lot of people being concerned that the Integra with only 200 horsepower is a slow car, and that you need to be able to get to the freeway speeds with ease, you know, relative ease, and this does it. So even the CVT performs well. So I gotta say, very impressed here. So I'm going 50. I want to just kind of see what it's like getting to 60. Like, no time at all. Seriously, did you see that? No time at all. And this is freeway driving. Freeway driving. You can hear the turbos kicking in. This thing goes from 50 to 60 with no issues at all. Let me just kind of show you around here. I mean, this will drive by that Porsche dealership with no issues whatsoever, and it doesn't even flinch. Really keeping up with other cars going freeway speeds is no problem. No problem at all. Wow, Acura. I think you've actually impressed me again. Not in a way that I think is what I wanted, you know, but just helping me understand why Acura did a CVT. The CVT of yesteryear and the CVT found at the Nissan Pathfinder of the mid-2010s, etc. You know, they have solidified just how horrible a CVT is. You know, CVTs have just such a bad reputation that nobody quite realizes all of the Civics that perform flawlessly and are just fun to drive. You know, these are fun to drive vehicles. The Honda Civic, it's a fun vehicle to drive, even in the CVT variant. So when I heard of the Integra coming with a CVT, I was very surprised. But knowing the market, you know, you're going to be able to drive this car around town. And if you're kind of one of those individuals who likes to drive quick, you know, here and there, this vehicle is actually not bad at all. I actually kind of enjoy it. And, you know, we're here in Southern California, and it's doing great. But this thing just it moves. It's quick. And I know people who have CVTs, and they also comment that it sounds kind of strange as it's accelerating. But if you can kind of get over that acceleration experience, then really, it's not a problem. Not a problem. Here we go. Would you say that's slow? I mean, this is not a Porsche by any means, but no, it's a quick car. I'm impressed, Acura. Wow. Now, I'm not impressed to the point where I'm going to be getting one of these, but, you know, if I had a reason for an automatic Integra, I wouldn't have any issues getting this particular one. And we all know that Honda makes the best CVTs on the market, so if you're going to get them, get it in this, where you're going to have a little bit of a nicer experience driving, you know, and all that jazz. So we'll put some more miles on this, see how it handles, but I am quite impressed, actually. Not yet. Now. Still handles well. Now that is a sweet looking. Well done, sir. Well done. Check this out. This is kind of a cool little street here. Street here. Yeah. Vibin'. This is the vibin' street here. Coastal town. California Avenue. Still has the same sweet turbo in this. You can hear it swirling. It's hard to really see, but I'm now in sport mode. I've been driving this in normal mode for the past hour, and so now I want to see what it's like to drive Teggy CVT in sport mode. So, as you would probably guess, sport mode is a more lively mode of driving. The RPMs are revving a little bit higher. It does feel different. To those who aren't really attuned to the handling of vehicles, you might not notice it, but there are definitely differences. And so I would be able to tell you, without you telling me what the mode is, I'd be able to tell you which mode we're driving in, because they are very distinct. They're not huge differences, you know. It's not like you put it in sport mode and you get 800 more horsepower. It's nothing like that, but it's just the dynamics change and it just feels different. So with the sport mode, it does have a more stiff suspension. The handling, the steering is supposed to be a little bit more stiff. As we stop and then immediately accelerate again, there's definitely more responsiveness to this. So sport mode is definitely different than normal mode. I can totally tell that. It's definitely more engaged, more lively. So that is for fact. So right now I'm 30 miles an hour. Okay, so we got 37. So just with the quick press of the accelerator, you can see that it definitely gives you more oomph. There is definitely really good acceleration here. It works really well. So after driving this in normal mode for a bit, kind of getting a feel for the driving dynamics, switching to sport mode, there is a difference, I can tell. So, and not even being an expert on the CVT quite yet. I've only been driving this for maybe 2 hours, yeah. So driving this for about 2 hours so far, I can tell there is a change. There's definitely a change. My initial impression of what this was going to be, the CVT, was a slow vehicle, not a very lively acceleration experience at all. I am finding that to not be the case at all. Not at all. This thing is quick and it's responsive. As soon as you press that gas, it goes. I don't want to say I'm a believer in the CVT because I'm totally against it. You know, I am. But I'm kind of a believer. CVT is actually pretty good. As far as the sounds go, I'm not liking that, but the pickup, the acceleration thing is actually pretty quick. This thing cruises. So just going on this mountain road to see how this handles. Some have questioned whether the Integra is able to hold its own as a canyon carver. This car is pretty darn fun to drive. But just how fun is it? I mean, on a canyon road like this, it's a lot of fun. Just cruising around these corners. It handles well. And this is the base Integra. The base. Same engine. And we're not talking 800 horsepower here. But to be able to get up a canyon that has all these fun little curves and turns and, you know, this can just get it done. The acceleration is fantastic. Fantastic! This handles so nice on this road, on this canyon road. This is one of the most gorgeous canyons. To have a house up here on one of these cliff sides would just be insane. Just to give you an idea of what kind of view it is. Just look at that. Outrageous. So pretty. Going through the various tests convinced me more and more that Acura really has designed an outstanding CVT transmission. Test after test, I was convinced more and more that Acura really had captured the Integra spirit. I've driven over 200,000 miles in my 5-speed Integra GSR, so I know how it handles. But what really captured it for me with the Techie CVT was the canyon ride here in sunny California. Going around corners in sport mode proved to me over and over again why Acura had put this transmission in. Sure, we would have all loved a dual clutch transmission, but different engine types would have required more engineering, and that's more cost. I also think Acura had a feeling that the majority of buyers would go for the manual transmission anyhow. So it makes a lot of sense to me why the CVT was chosen, and Acura really has upped their game as far as what a CVT actually means in today's car landscape. I've come to trust Acura over a period of 2 decades, but when I heard the CVT was in the Techie, I had to doubt them for just a minute. Actually 12 months. But Acura surprised me once again. I never thought I'd say just how good the CVT is, coupled with the 1.5 liter engine. That engine is stellar, so that helps solidify what Acura's thoughts were. So if you are really opposed to the manual transmission for whatever reason, but you really want the Integra, the CVT actually isn't a bad idea.
Acura truly has tuned the engine and transmission to something really fun, and especially as a canyon carver. For more canyon carving demonstrations, check out my next video, Teggy CVT Canyon Carver, but you won't be surprised. I was just blown away at how good it really is. Today I drove the base Integra for all of those tests, which might be enticing if you're trying to save a few bucks. It's still fast, exciting, and it's an agile performer. And as Acura continues to blow my mind, I just can't wait for the 2024 Acura Integra Type S, which I'm sure will surprise me again and blow my mind once again. So kudos to Acura for creating not just a good CVT, but an excellent CVT that I really had doubts about. Well done. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.